You can get to know women and children in your area who are struggling in life. Not to help them, that insinuates a superior position, but to walk with them, get to understand their lives, to come from a position of power with, not power over. You can attempt to break down your own assumptions about prisons and those incarcerated behind their bars. They are not bad people. They are just like you and I was once, I am a convicted drug trafficker. I'm also the CEO of Sisters Inside, and I'm a lawyer. We can be anything. We as women that have been criminalised and imprisoned, we can be anything. We just need support in the community so that we're not criminalised, not further traumatised, and to ensure that our dreams can come true. And here's an obvious fund. We have our own Sisters Inside Children Fund that pays for initiatives like the art program. And we'd also like to be able to fund our own after-school care programs. We're currently organising a coffee cart to operate outside our building in West End, at which the young women, some of them up the back, can be trained as baristas and learn the skills of hospitality. This will obviously depend on donations of cash and other donations in kind to ensure it operates successfully. These children and young women all need and deserve peace in their lives and in their lifetimes. To my mind, it's not rocket science really. To achieve it, we need to abolish prisons. We need to abolish the prison industrial complex. It is interesting that prison is considered as an inevitable and permanent fixture in our social lives. For all the reasons above, we at Sisters Inside are abolitionists. And yes, we are dismissed, I am dismissed as utopian and idealistic, whose ideas are at best unrealistic and impractical, and at worst mystifying and foolish. This is a measure of how difficult it is to envision a social order that does not rely on the threat of sequestering people in dreadful places, designed to separate them from their community and families. The prison is considered so natural that it is extremely hard to imagine life without it. Everything we do is about working towards a world without prisons. Everything we do is thinking outside the bars, and we encourage you to do the same, to think outside the bars. Crazy, you may think. Well, that's what they thought about those that fought against slavery too. Those abolitionists didn't talk about reform. They didn't talk about reforming the slave trade system. They talked about its abolition, as we do about prison. Reform and the arguments for it merely prop up the dehumanising system. Reform net widens and it captures more women and girls. We do not want reform, we want abolition through the strategies of decarceration. I may not see it in my lifetime, but I know that it will come one day. And that brings me to that third reaction to this wonderful invitation to present this lecture that I mentioned at the start. And my third reaction was joy and humility, that I get to talk about and represent to you tonight the women and girls with lived prison experience, and especially Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women and girls with whom I have the honour to work with and walk with every day. I stand here on behalf of every one of them. And finally, I just want to leave you with a few words to take with you. Thought there are never guarantees that we will reach the futures we dream. We cannot stop dreaming. Thank you.
Are our girls able to stay a little bit later tonight after the session so that we can get to meet them?
Yes.
And walk with them and talk with them? That would be lovely. Wow, that is so powerful. Normally I'd ask for questions, but this isn't that sort of a session tonight. I think we could talk to you separately after the session. We were collecting previously for our collections today were for UNICEF, and we collected $452.15 after a few IOUs get cashed in. But I think we should talk to my board and see if we can't make sure that these donations go to your after-school care and especially global directions and principles and embed them and localise them and take action in our own lives. And if we can't do that tonight, there's something wrong. So, before I was remiss previously, I had to do a sales pitch for the United Nations Association, and we are here to inform, engage and inspire. We're not allowed to be activists, but we are allowed to be policy advocates. So, we're doing lots of shaking trees with a lot of help from people like Senator Claire Moore and a whole heap of other people, and yourselves, because there's quite a few blatant things that are happening here to us in South East Queensland right now, and I'll just leave it at that. I'd like to invite immediate past President Clem Campbell, who's probably very well known to you,